What is happening, everyone? Welcome to G-Ball Vision. Today we have our very first end of the year championship series accolades video, and we're going to be talking about the best budget button locks of the entire year. We have 5 runner-up knives and 1 champion, so we have 6 total knives. Any one of these 5 knives could have been the champion in my book, and if you have it that way, where one of these other 5 is your champion, I can't really argue that. This is just personal preference and my opinion. Number 5, these will be in my order. So number 5 here, runner-up number 5, is going to be probably one of, if not the most popular button locks of the entire year. The CJRB Pyrite Alt, or the CJRB Pyrite Wharncliffe. It is a sheep's foot-esque, Wharncliffe-esque style blade. It's coated RPM 9. It's nice and thin, nice little cutout. The spring detent is pretty good. We're going to see a few that have a lot better spring detent and stronger springs coming up here. You have these smooth steel handles with internal milling. It originally comes with a deep carry steel rollover clip. I threw a titanium clip on there. The knife is really nice. It's a good EDC knife. It's a good button lock, and the plunge lock holds up very well. It's very strong, has not failed me yet. It's the thing that's lacking in is the size for me. It's a little small, still usable, but a little small. And like I said, the spring in there could be a little bit stronger, but those are my only 2 knocks on this knife. It comes in right around 50 to 60 bucks, and it's definitely a great knife and deserves to be on this list. Let's go ahead and we'll get to number 4. Number 4 is going to be the Civivi Qubit. This had all the potential in the world, in my opinion, and it feels like they took these off the production line too early. So you're getting 14C 28N for the blade steel. Nice coated leaf-shaped blade. You do get dual thumb studs for deployment. You have this weird cutout here. Smooth red aluminum handles. Nice little button. This does have solid lockup, so the plunge is nice and strong in there. You do have a reversible deep carry pocket clip, and I hate the fact that they did not include a filler tab. Companies like Vostede, companies like Migron, lots of companies are including that left-hand carry with a filler tab, and I just don't understand why Civivi left that out. I don't understand why Civivi included this here. It really feels unfinished. The other thing, it's a little small for me. Still usable, just like the Wharncliffe Pyrite, but it does feel a little small. The spring is nice and strong, though. I will give it that. It is pretty comfortable. I think an XL version of this knife with the filler tab and a few other small changes, and this would be, hard to pick over. This could easily be the champion. Now, this is one of the more expensive knives on the entire list, and I think they just, they cut some corners that they shouldn't have cut with this knife. The Civivi Qubit coming in at number 4. It's a great button lock, very thin and slicey. It just feels like Civivi cut some corners doing this knife, making this knife, and I wish they wouldn't, because they are charging top dollar, so to speak. Let's go ahead and we'll get to number 3. So number 3 was one that really started to make me kind of think, is this my favorite of the year? We have the CJRB Ekko. This is the Knife Center exclusive version. You're getting a satin RPM 9 sheep's foot style blade. You have the cutout here for deployment, very reminiscent of the Wharncliffe Pyrite, but you get the added top flipper, front flipper that works extremely well. You get Ray Laconico's design, and that's another step up. You get titanium bolsters. You get micarta secondary onlays here, and you get a milled titanium clip. I think these were right around the $70-ish mark, and that's a fantastic price point for this. It's a little bigger than the Warney Pyrite and the Qubit. It also has some nice thick, wider scales, so it's a little more hand-filling as well. This is, this one for me definitely overtakes the Pyrite, Warney, and the Qubit. But with the satin RPM 9 powdered steel blade, the dual deployments, this does have a nice strong spring in it. The tie bolsters, the micarta, the milled clip, it makes a nice little package. It's thin, it's slicey, and CJRB has just done nothing short of be phenomenal all year long. And I'm a huge fan of what CJRB has been doing and where they are headed. I hope they continue this in 2024. The Ekko coming in at number 3. So this was very tough, guys. This was my champion for most of the year, and it's held true. This came out early 2023 and seriously held that top spot for months and months and months. The Kizer Mad Tanto collab with Damn Designs, 154 cm. You have this nice low Tanto blade. Look at that tip, almost perfectly in line with the pivot, so it is nice and low. You still get your secondary edge, your primary edge, which is a hollow grind. This thing is slicey. You can get right up behind that edge with that finger choil. Very comfortable in hand, nice wide handle. You have some of the best micarta in the game. You have a micarta backspacer. You have an ultra deep carry steel rollover clip that's recessed along with the screws. The button is done very well. The pivot looks great. And these were like 70, 80 bucks. And to get 154 cm, a beautiful usable Tanto blade with nice micarta, the build, this thing is phenomenal. Definitely coming in at number 2. This was really tough for me these last couple. This could have easily been the champion. But it's a little bit more expensive than the next 2. And I don't think we're talking about the best button lock. So the button lock action in this is pretty good, but I don't think that it's as good as these next 2. So let's go ahead and we'll get to the number 1 runner-up, and then we'll get to our champion. So this is the knife that pretty much overtook everything when it came out, and I got this knife, the CJRB Riff. It has some of the best button lock action, it still does, that I have ever handled. The spring, it feels like you are opening up a knife that has a normal detent. It is crazy how they were able to design this in there and make it feel like it has a real detent. But the spring is nice and strong, very well done. You have a clip point, stone-washed RPM 9 blade, and I think this is a very usable clip point. You have a deep well fuller here that is accessed from both sides, so you can thumb and reverse flick this guy. Oh man, it's so good. The flipper tab is well done. I wish they would have added some jimping up there for, I've gotten used to it and it's not really a big deal, but there is no jimping there. But it's still very easy to actuate. Light switch, push button, very good. Button is done very well. Micarta is pretty damn nice. It has gotten better for CJRB over the year, and they continue to get better and better. You have a deep carry steel rollover clip that is reversible, lanyard hole, open construction. This thing is built like an absolute tank. It's a good size. The button lock action is some of the best in the entire budget world, probably in the entire button lock world. I've handled well over 40 button locks, and of all price points, and this is definitely at the top as far as button lock action goes. So let's go ahead and we'll get to the champion. So this was an easy decision, but a tough decision as well. The CJRB Frack, guys, this is refinement after refinement after refinement all year long. CJRB dabbling in the button locks, making strong lockup all year in all their button locks. Just, working on the little fine details and making things better and better and better. And what you get after a whole year of doing that is this knife, the CJRB Frack. This thing is an absolute beast. This is a full-size bugger here. You're getting RPM 9 steel. You have this nice low drop point sheep's foot-esque blade. You have this nice PVD coating on there, and their coatings hold up very well. You have a nice little cutout for deployment. This has the best spring detent in the button lock world, in my opinion. This is right up there, just past the Riff. It really feels like you're actuating a knife with the detent. It is insane how nice and strong that is. You can literally wind up on the reverse and on the thumb flick. You have this nice frag texture in the steel scales. They have some very deep milling done in the scales for weight relief. I don't know if we can pick it up quite right now. The button is done very well. I do have a tie clip on the way for this, so that'll make this even better. But I love the size, just the normal handle here, very comfortable. And then you also have a full-size finger choil to choke up right behind that edge. The thing is very, very thin. I think 120 thousandths coming down to like 14 thousandths. So this thing is ultra thin, ultra slicey, came with a great edge, came with a fantastic spring in there. This is the icon, in my opinion, for best button lock of the year. This is just so well done. They didn't cut any corners. They didn't cut or cheap out on us anywhere. You could argue the RPM 9, but then again, they're not charging a ton of money either, 60, 70 bucks for these, which I think is definitely fair. RPM 9 is a powdered steel, and in my experience, it holds up very well. The edge retention is good. The toughness is good. The corrosion resistance is good. So it's an all-around good steel, and you can get RPM 9 down in the 40s, 50s, 60s. So it's a great steel in that price range. Would I love to see this in 14C or 154? Hell yeah, that would be awesome to have that option as well. And I hope CJRB starts dabbling in the 14C 154 S30V for some of their models, just to have that next option available to us. That would be awesome, because options are great. You're going to have to let me know down in the comments, what are some of your favorite button locks of the entire year? What are your favorite one or two out of this entire list? Do you disagree and think one of the other ones should be champion over the Frack? But this thing is my winner of the year, guys. Budget button lock of the year, the CJRB Frack. Hit the subscribe button down below the video. I would love to have you here. Otherwise, guys, I will catch you on the next one.